What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hello, good
Hey,
morning.
good morning.
Hey, just to let everybody know it's freaking storming like crazy outside right now. So therefore, all the intro music and all the little lights and glamour, we can't have that right now. So we just straight raw dogged it. But like I said, we do these every Thursday where we're interviewing agents that's actually doing some really good things in order to add tremendous value to the real estate industry. And I am here today with two of the people that is our topic today is going to be from teaching to real estate agent, which is a big deal. So two of the people, one I know very, very personally, one I've gotten to know very personally. Both of them, they're doing their thing and they're making their mark. Tamara Massey, my wife, and then Lenita. So what's up, y'all? Like, I know y'all, and definitely know you, Tam. But specifically, let's just kind of get to the origins of how we all got connected, right? So Tamara, can you tell like what first of all got you into your real estate? Decided you wanted to go ahead and start selling real estate, get your license and things of that nature. Because I know it was a trip that we went on. Kind of tell that story, and then we'll tell the story of how you met Lenita.
Okay, so as you guys know, my husband is James Massey. And so he's always like, Tamara, you got to get your license. You got to get your license. And I'm like, yeah, that's your thing. I'm going to come keep teaching or, try to move up those ropes. And so I would preface that by saying we were in a car. We're always looking into things to kind of get our minds going and to build and edify ourselves and seeing what we could do to better ourselves. And it was a message that we would listen to an audible book by Brian Carruthers, Building an Empire. And it said, if you're working on a job in the next 5 or 10 years, will you be able to live out your dream? And I was like, no, not in this career. And so it was one time he said, well, come on with me on this real estate trip or this convention. I said, okay. It was in Cabo. I can't turn that down. So we were in a convention, and I'm just listening to all these realtors and all the stories and understanding the model that he was under, because as you guys may not know, but this was his third brokerage. So I'm just like, that's his thing. But when I heard what everyone was saying, I saw their results. I met the people who were amazing, and I'm a people person. And so no one was shy or bashful about what they had experienced and was totally willing to share. I was in it, the meetings, and heard everything, and I was able to see it firsthand. And he didn't have to say anything else to me. I was like, I'm getting my license, because this I knew would be the way and the road for me to meet my dreams. And then from there, so that was April last year, 2021. And then I'm a teacher, so I have to wait to the summer to do things outside the box. So in July, I'm like, it's a 2-week course. I got to take it. I'm all in, no interruptions, get in there, get it done. And so in that class, they go around the room, you introduce yourself and what you're doing currently. And so I said, well, I'm a teacher. And then I heard Lenita from the other side of the room, I'm a teacher. Oh, okay. So that's kind of how we connected, and totally vibe, study partners and everything. And even today, accountability partners. So it's been amazing to take this journey with Lenita. And we're not even a year in, and it's been an exciting ride. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So like I mean I really noticed the difference like when you all connected. I mean I see the bond. I see how y'all work together and stuff like that. So Lenita, can you tell me like why did you get your license? What's your story behind making this decision to get in this commission based industry?
Okay. Well, similar to Tam, I was reading the Rich Dad Poor Dad. Somebody gave me the book to read, and then I didn't read it. I just listened to it on Audible. I was reading it. I was like, oh, let me just download this on Audible. So it's very similar to Tam. This was a couple years ago. So at first, I started in wholesaling. So I was like, okay, I want to do some real estate investing. I didn't even think about real estate agent. One of my coworkers was like, well, they call me Stovall. Stovall, well, if you're trying to do real estate investing, you might as well get your license. I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. And so back in 2020, right when the pandemic hit, right before the pandemic hit, I did an online class. Well, I was trying to do an online real estate class. And if anybody knows, if y'all did it online, y'all did a great job. But for me and my household, I couldn't do it online. So that flopped. And then the next year, it was summertime, coming up to be summertime. And one of my coworkers was like, hey, I'm taking this course in July. Then July, 2 weeks, like expedient course right before school starts. You want to do it with me? I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And so that's how I got in the course. Just knowing that real estate can change lives. So that's how I got in the course. I'm so thankful. I met Tam. She met my coworker. And like she said, we've been, and I don't even think the first week we even talked. Like we heard, okay, you're a teacher. I don't know when we were like, okay, I guess we should talk to each other, huh?
Right.
But she was sitting across the room.
I studied.
And then once we had just one conversation, it was over. Yeah. Like, hey, Tam, what you doing? Tam, what you doing today? Lenita, what you doing? And that's how we still are. Like, it's terrible, actually. But it's great at the same time. So we talk to each other all the time. And we just keep each other accountable. And so that's been a blessing for me.
Me as well. Yeah.
Man, I know it's so many people, and you know, it's about accountability, like you said. You know, just that connection, that bond. But you all have been able to not only just have that bond and have that social aspect of it, but you all have been able to actually make things happen. You know what I'm saying? Because 80% of agents sell less than 5 homes a year, making less than $35,000 a year according to NAR. So, one of the things that we try to focus in on is not being part of that 80%, right? You don't want to be part of that group. So, some things that, you all start doing, and I know y'all are working like different areas of the business, but just like Lenita, for you, all right, so you get your real estate license, and now it's time to actually do business. Like, what was that process like? What was that journey like for you, just kind of starting off, for the people that's just, because there's people out here that got their license now, they still haven't done some of the stuff that you've been able to accomplish so far. So what was that journey like, and what was that headspace like in those initial times?
I got my license, passed the test. I was like, woo, that's enough. That's enough. I'm an agent now. I'm telling you, I went right back to work because I was working every day anyway. So went back to work, wasn't thinking about it. And everywhere me and my mom would go, she'd be like, my daughter's a real estate agent. I was like, oh, yeah, I am. My daughter's a real estate agent. I was like, oh, yes, I am. So, and she got my first deal for me. It was a referral from her, really. It was our next door neighbor friend, and he was staying with our next door neighbors, and he was ready to move out. He was like, I don't want to rent anymore. I want to buy a house. And my mom was talking to him. I wasn't even there. And she said, my daughter's a real estate agent, like she's been saying since I got my license. And from that experience, and I call James every day from that experience, because now I'm just getting closer and closer to the family. So, and he's my mentor. So call James every day, picked up the phone every day, which I was impressed. Like, James, I know you're going to be tired of me, but this is what I got to talk about. Finished that deal, walked away, and I was like, man, I ain't did too much of nothing. Really, James did most of it. So he helped me with most of it. So I spent a lot of time in this classroom, and I mean, I love the kids, but man, I need to change gears. And that, I got my license in September, late August, September. I didn't close my first deal to the end of December, and then I just been moving ever since.
So just kind of going back on that deal, because I mean, it wasn't just the easiest deal, right? I mean, it wasn't something you just get somebody and they just ready to go, 800 credit score, see the house they want, you're able to put a contract, get it. It was some challenges that came with that deal. But to your credit, everything that I told you, you just went and did it. Like, you didn't question it. It was just like, all right, James told me I'm gonna do it. James told me I'm gonna do it. And because of that, like, you got to the finish line from that deal. And I'll never forget, I was asking you the question right afterward, because you just never know how people are going to respond to things. And I didn't want to get you to be discouraged, because that was your first deal. It was a little difficult. And I asked you, I said, so So all of them are not like this. You're gonna get some that's gonna be easier and things of that nature. And I never forget you told me like, yeah, hey, I'm not worried about that. I mean, I look at the time that I spent working this deal and look at the time that I spent working on my job, and I made way more money with that time frame working this deal than my job. So I'm good to
Man,
go.
it was eye opening. I was like, "Ma, I got to go out. This got to be my last. Next year got to be my last year. I can't do this no more." And so that's been my affirmation every single day. And Tam knows, she like, "Oh, this is both of our affirmations really."
Right.
To say, okay, this 2022, 2023, that's it. That's
Yeah.
all you're getting from us.
So all right, so Tamara, so like same thing with you. You just get your real estate license, and you're getting advice. You're going out. You're doing some stuff, and I think I gave you your first referral, right?
You did.
And you start working that referral. Explain that whole process and how that went, because that wasn't an easy one as well, especially in this market that we were in. I mean, it's shifting a little bit now, but we was in before.
Right. No, and I said, oh, well, the person I think is in the medical industry. So I was like, okay, this is good. And it's she's ready to go. She got everything approved. And so I'm like, well, I just got to show the house. She's gonna pick it, and that's gonna be easy. Yeah, no. We pull up, and I'm ashamed to say we probably put in 15 offers. So you can imagine how many houses you have to show to actually put out 15 offers.
And not to interrupt too much, but like, all right, so once again, because we're connected, how many times did I tell you to fire that buyer?
I was, I was determined to make it work. But this last time I was like, this is it. Now I see what he's talking about. Now I see it. When you're married to someone, you hear them and you're like, yeah, I know. And you think, but. And so he would say, Lenita did exactly what I said. And I'm like, I know, but I'm just trying to put my little sweet sauce on it, try to be nice. I burnt a lot of gas. Let's say that. So I've learned my lesson, and I will follow into Lenita's footsteps and listen. But we did finally get them closed and into her home, which was very exciting. But it was a rough journey because the market, I mean, it shifted now, but it was so tough. I put in an offer and it'd be 15, 20 offers. And this is like 1 or 2 days. And then the house that she actually got, I think we put in 35 over the asking price. So then now she's like, it was a mandatory gap she had to put on it. So we are praying to the Lord Jesus that appraises for that amount. And so it came back, I think, maybe 5 under what she asked. And because of the things that need to be done, we was able to get her right where she needed to be. And she is happy, and so am I. And what I saw that day when I picked up my check on closing day was more than a month of work. And I'm just thinking like, this is the way. This is absolutely the way.
Now, I mean, to your credit though, like, I mean, you were super determined to see that thing through. You went above and beyond in order to make that happen. Like my thing was like, when you have a market like what we're coming out of, like, all cylinders got to be on go where it comes for your buyer and yourself. So it's almost like, I know a lot of times, the buyers or the clients is vetting the agent. In that particular market, like you're vetting the buyer because the buyer has to be on the same page with you. They have to be willing to do the things necessary. You got to show your value in order for them to actually get what they want, which is the house. Otherwise, you will go through that stuff. But we all did it. We all started off at a certain point, and we were all learning this thing, and we're just trying to figure it out. Um, one of the things which was funny, and I talk about this even to this day. Tam was calling Lenita and asking Lenita questions about what did she do to get her deal done, and Lenita was like, "I just did what your husband told me to do."
Oh,
So
Lord have mercy.
that was extremely funny to me. Maybe not so for more for Tamara, but it was really funny for me. But what I'm saying, you got through it, you got it done, you got your first deal done, and you got that real estate bug. kind of going forward. So just kind of going back to you a little bit more, Lenita. So some of the things that you take experiences that you've had in the past and you utilize that towards the thing that you're going in and the business that you're in right now. So what different things did you do in the past that's currently helping you even to this day, on top of the training that we're also being able to provide for you?
Yeah, like I told you guys before, my first avenue into real estate was like being a wholesaler, and so that had to do with a lot of cold calling. And so because I was already doing it, cold calling and getting rejected, and sometimes I could go to the property and go see it and just didn't like basically execute. I was comfortable on the phone. I was comfortable talking to strangers. I was comfortable making cold calls. And so the trainings that I was on, I think Mark Z team in Detroit, that's one of the trainings that I listen to every morning, still faithfully to this day. They were like, make some calls. I was like, oh, I know how to do that. Let's do it. Who do I got to call? I'm going to call everybody y'all tell me to call. And so they say for sale by owners and expired. And that's who I called. And it's been successful for me.
Yeah. So I mean, you've been getting listings. You've been getting buyers from your listings that you've been working with. You've been sharing deals with other people. Like just in the spare time, like while you're just sitting at home, you're actually getting business. You're actually doing the work in of itself. You just got a listing. Well, I'm gonna let you tell that one. Somebody just called you the other day. So tell that journey and that story so people can understand, like honestly, just the time frame and how that thing starts in order to get to where it ends.
I know we're in a training with Coach Burt about the follow up. The sauces in the follow up. And when I tell you, I thought I had this deal back in June, mid-June. He was like, let's do it. And then I sent him the paperwork and he never signed it. I was like, what in the world? I thought we was about to. This is from a phone call. I was telling Tam and James I was calling an expired listing list. He was on an expired listing. And matter of fact, he was a surprise because I accidentally pressed expired residential leases, and called him. He was like, yeah, I can't get it rented out. Yeah, let's go ahead and sell. I was like, okay, let's do a listing presentation. He said he also had a commercial property, so I looked at the people in the area that were doing commercial deals, got partnered up with them. We had a listing presentation for both of the properties. We decided that the commercial property wasn't ready yet. He just bought it in February. We weren't ready to list it for the price he wanted, but he did have a duplex in Atlanta. And like I said, from I'll say June 13th, 15th, I thought we had that deal. We've already done the listing presentation. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Until yesterday, I don't know the time. I just said good afternoon at probably 1 o'clock. And he's like, yeah, let's go ahead and send the paperwork back to me. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get. I'm like, okay, I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you as fast as I can. And he finally signed. So it was just a follow-up, like calling him, texting him. I know his parents had COVID one time, making sure I'm telling them, hey, I'm thinking about you guys, just the power and the follow-up, knowing that I care about what's going on in his life as well. Like, hey, I'm not going to badger you. I'm just saying, hey, how's the family doing? So I'm just so excited. I already took pictures of the property. That's the whole crazy part. I had already took pictures of the property back in June because it gave me the code and everything. I just was waiting on him to sign the signature. So I'm ready to list tomorrow.
This is the Grant Park house, right?
It's in Grant Park. Yeah.
How much? How much are you listing it for?
$840.
Woo!
I'm so excited. So we did me, James, and Tamara did a praise break last night. I think James was running in the bedroom, right?
We was in the kitchen.
And I was on the phone.
Oh, the kids
doing, and the kids. Energy said some inspirational words to me. I was like, okay, come on, praying folks. It was really good. I'm just so excited.
But it's something to be said, honestly, about just like people say, "Oh, that's great for you," that was lucky and stuff like that. Like really, like you create your own luck. Like it ain't no such thing as like you create your own. Like because of my hard work, I get lucky because I do the process, I get lucky. Of course, like, and I'm not saying it was luck because it definitely wasn't luck. It was skill and everything else. But so many people, I mean, they look on that or they hear something like that, oh, that's good for them. Like, no, no, you can do the same exact thing if you plug into the right systems, plug into the right places, and follow the plan. And that's really what you've been doing. So you've taken, because I know the story. So you've taken listings that were smaller. You've taken listings that was bigger. You taking lists, you take everything, but you're just doing the work. And as you continue to do the work, things start to happen. So
Right.
so Tam, like for you, like you learned something a little bit different out of that first deal. What you want to do is just kind of leverage some of the things a little bit differently, and you just really kind of focus in on kind of like lead generation. So tell what that looks like for you and what you've been able to do in that area, which is different, so because there's different paths in real estate that you can go. So talk about that a little bit.
So that's one thing that I just love about real estate. The beauty of real estate is that you can kind of be what you want to be. It's so much you can do. If you want to invest, you can invest. If you want to sell homes, you sell them. If you want to help people buy them, you could do whatever you want. But the number one thing that agents need are listings. They need those leads. And so what I decided after that deal was, instead of being on that side, of course I'll still help people buy and sell real estate on my own. But what I've been able to do is tap into helping people to find leads. And so well, people get on my calendar, and I'm able to help them with their lead generation. I'm able to refer out leads. And see, that's the beauty of this real estate model, is that it's not about me. Whatever I know, I'm willing to share with you, because we're all winning. We're all owners. Me and Lenita and James, we own. We don't rent. And that's the thing that I feel is so weird, that we as agents say, hey, you should buy a home. You should buy a home. But people are renting at their brokerage. So what I've been able to do is to help others generate leads by setting them up on funnels. And these funnels will help them generate leads. Last week, I spoke to one of the agents that I helped, and she's like, they want to list for like 900,000. Let's go, So that brings me joy. So closing day for me, yes, I love to take that nice basket in and say, congratulations, you got this home. But closing day for me is a little different, because I'm on the referral side. And so I just get a little slice of the pie, and then I am able to refer out and let other people help them one-on-one. But I am willing to do both, because I do have my own clients. But at the same time, I love that aspect of I'm able to leverage and share. And then I'm able to help others to build their pipeline, where they have those constant lead flows going in. And so I'm always checking in and say, okay, how is it going? How is it going? So that's what I just love about real estate, that you kind of make it what you want to. And it doesn't just happen. You put in the work, like James was saying. But again, it's a little different for me, because I just help people to generate leads. And you got leads, then if you follow up, like Lenita said, we're in this training that's been amazing. You just kind of slowly drip on them. Hey, how you doing? How is life? How's your family? And then you're able to build those relationships and network with people. And so that's been pretty amazing.
I think the combination of the two really, because like Lenita said, she jumps on the calls in the morning and she's making the phone calls, so she's learning how to convert, and then having leads itself coming in. Most agents, like to be honest, like most people say, like, oh, the biggest problem with my business is I don't have leads. I mean, for most people, that's the main thing. Like, I don't have leads. Well, then if you turn on some of the leads for the people, then they're like, well, I'm not getting the results that I want to have. And but then Lenita, she's like, well, I'm getting results because I'm making the phone calls. So it's like it's the combination. Like you have to know, one, how to get leads and how to get people in your funnel. And then the second thing, you have to know how to convert those leads. And that's one of the things that we focus in on the most, or what I see the most successful agents, they know how to do both. They're great marketers, one, which means they know how to put something out to make people come to them, and then they know how to actually convert that person to a client. Um, so many people, they say like, oh, sphere of influence, sphere of influence. I mean, I go to all these different places and they, brokerages and coaches or whatever. They talk about sphere of influence, and I just, I just be honest with you. If I had to totally depend on friends and family, like I wouldn't eat. Just like things happen. I mean, I'm not fault of friends and family. Stuff happen or whatever, but I mean, it's not enough for them to go around in order for you to continue to have the closings that you want to have going forward. So you have to get really good at converting strangers to appointments, those appointments to clients, and then clients to closings. In that whole process. I mean, like for you, Lenita, so what are, like, I know you had the skills just going back from your wholesale type days, but what are some of the things that was different that you learned to actually get in front of expires or FISBOs to make the difference, to make them want to work with you? You muted.
The things that were similar were the scripts. Like you kind of have a script, but because I didn't have the accountability, because I didn't plug in, I didn't really know how to use the scripts when I was doing wholesaling. I was just literally lucky that I was getting maybe maybe an appointment sometimes. But now plugging into this community, learning how to use the scripts, learning how to handle objections when you are talking to buyers and sellers, um, really learning how to just have a conversation, but get what you want from the conversation. Get all the information you need from the conversation to bring it back when you follow up, or even just to close it right then. I think that's the difference from when I was trying to do wholesaling. The similarities, again, got scripts to say, right? Just words off of paper. But then the difference is the accountability with the group. The understanding of, this is a conversation. You are really trying to help somebody sell their property. You are really trying to help somebody buy their property. So the understanding of the scripts as well. That's what I'm learning now. Like, okay, why am I saying this? Oh, I'm saying this so I can get the motivation, the problem. Because if I'm trying to help, I need to know why they're motivated, and what's the actual problem. So I think that hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, because what happens, like there's scripts everywhere, right? Let's just be honest. Like, you see scripts just laid out everywhere, but
For free.
for free. You can just jump on there, find a script to call for sale by owners, call expires, call referral leads or whatever. But if you don't have the coaching and the training behind that, then it's not gonna hit the same. It's not gonna go off the same way. Case in point. I mean, I used to have a script I used to give to my ISAs when I was training them, and the first thing they used to do is say, "I followed the script." But they were talking like this, just like reading off a piece of paper. It was no energy behind it. They didn't understand why they were making that particular offer and what they was trying to accomplish. Once the training got there, then the appointments went up within the whole process. So all right, so for teachers, because I know teachers out there, teachers is a few things. First of all, y'all teach the future, so we always appreciative of y'all teaching the future. But there's some teachers out there that they're ready to either have another source of income that's going to pay them very well, or actually step away from teaching in and of itself. Tam, I know you're making that switch now. Lenita, you're in the process of getting things done in that area. So so what advice would you have for anybody, honestly, that is working a full-time job but is looking to get into real estate for them to start off to be successful? What advice would you give them? I'll start with Tamara. I go with you first, and then Lita, you could close it out.
I would say just like Nike, just do it. I mean, you commit, you commit to going to work every day. So why can't you commit to invest in yourself? So I would just say take the time and just invest. For me, I'm an in-person learner, so I needed a 2 hour, I mean a 2 week course, Monday through Friday, every day. I was in it. I was not available to family, friends. I had to shut everybody out, and I was just in it. Study. It was like 8 hours of school, then study group afterwards. But I mean, it pays off. But I mean, that's you have to find, I guess, the way you learn it, because we're always talking about as teachers, what type of learner are you? Oh, no, that. But I would just say, just step out and do it. No one's going to do it but you. You have to do it for you. And then we've learned something in our real estate conference. It's a butterfly effect. What you do today is not only going to affect you, but your family, and it just flows. If I wouldn't have made this decision, then I would never met Lenita, and then Lenita wouldn't have met James, and that connection has been there. And I mean, this team has been amazing. So my number one thing, if you want to do something, just step out and do it. Just become I guess, a part of it. So I feel like me and Lenita are like students in this, where Lenita's like, hey, it's a real estate agent, event. Let's go. We don't know those people, but we're showing up, and just really submerge yourself in it. And I would say just once you start that, because I'm like, you ask us about education, oh, I'll tell you, but now it's like real estate. Okay, this is a switch and a shift. So we have to do the same thing we did with education and get all in. So if you're questioning, you're not sure, there are real estate events around the city, jump in and just have conversations and talks with it. There are books out there and all that, but I would say commit to doing it for you.
Good, good. Linda, same question.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of what Tamara said, just do it. It'll change your life. It'll change your perspective. I feel like, and I tell my teacher friends, I tell Tamara because she's my teacher friend now, but it when you're working in a job, your mind is really closed, and we get so dependent on check to check to check, and there's a limit. It didn't matter if I climbed the ladder of administration, superintendent. If I climb that ladder, it's still a limit. Like, I'm limiting my resources for me and my family. And so I feel like what real estate has done for me and even my family is to see, oh, wow, things are limitless. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we were ever taught that, especially even I'm thinking about my students. They don't believe that things are limitless, but they haven't seen it. And so now, me as an adult, not even knowing it, working for years, and I've been working education for years now, and not even thinking about limitless. Just thinking, oh, I need to go to this step of the ladder, this step of the ladder, this step of the ladder to make $5 more than what I was making before, and doing 18 hours more work to make $5.
Yep.
To now in real estate, I'm like, man, I got to do some work. I got to do this work. It's still work. I'm not saying that. But I got to do this work, and I could do it as much as I can and build the skills to do anything I want to do. Go, like, sky's the limit. I got to go. It's just do it. Just do it. Open your eyes. I think that's all it is. It's really just opening your eyes. And that's any career. I don't think it's just teaching. I think it's any career. Once you're just getting that check to check to check to check, it kind of closes you off. I think it was meant to do that. And then when you get into real estate, you're like, oh, wow. Okay, so the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I love it. Keyword there, limitless. I love that word. So once again, man, I appreciate you all for jumping on, just kind of talking. I appreciate seeing this, the success and the growth. Like, we do these every Thursday where we're interviewing agents that's killing it in their industry, in order to provide tremendous value. If you want to know more about, like, some of the stuff we've been able to do to help agents, I mean, you can reach out to me, reach out to Lenita, reach out to Tamara. You can go to jameshmassey.com, hear some of my stories and some of the people we've been able to help. But more than anything, like, reach out and get connected to the right people. Like, if you can't get connected to the right people that's going to be able to help you to grow in this business, it can be very, very hard, especially, starting out, or even if you've been in it for a long time. My business did not grow until I stepped into the right situation, and the right folks was able to help me, and then that's when I took off. But man, I appreciate y'all again. Until the next time, once again, no outro music because of the thunder. Y'all hear it in the background.
You can
Straight
make some
rock.
music, James.
I can do my Pandora and just start playing it from my phone. Until next Thursday. See y'all later.
Bye.
See you.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.